There are a ton of Pick'em DFS apps available in 2025, but which ones are actually worth your time? We put them all to the test, from PrizePicks to Better, and ranked them using 4 key criteria: sign-up bonuses, daily promos, plus EV betting opportunities, and how fast they limit winning bettors. Some platforms really impressed us, and others, not so much. If you're betting in 2025, you need to watch this video so you don't miss out on profitable opportunities. Let's dive in. So here's how we ranked each book. For sign-up bonuses, how generous is it and how easy is it to actually get the money? Some sign-up bonuses have nasty rollovers and it takes forever to actually unlock that cash. So this is a point that definitely needs to be taken in consideration. For promos, are there recurring offers, free squares, deposit bonuses, or is it just kind of a once in the blue moon kind of thing? For plus EV betting opportunities, can you consistently find profitable opportunities utilizing correlation, model projections, or just plus EV opportunities to the entire market? And then for betting limits, how bad are these limits and how long does it take for you to last before you get limited? Starting with number 1, the best DFS Pick'em app currently out there right now is PrizePicks. No surprise here, PrizePicks is king. For their sign-up bonus, I'd give them a 7.5 out of 10. It's pretty good. You have to just bet $5 and then you get a $50 free bet. So really, it's pretty good for small unit bettors if you try to build a bankroll. But obviously, if you're trying to get rich off of a sign-up bonus, this doesn't really do it for you. But for small unit bettors, this is great. For promos, this is where they really shine. I give them a 10 out of 10. You get Taco Tuesday promos. You can do 3 discounts every single Tuesday. Flex Fridays, where you can do up to a $25 free bet, make a 6-man parlay, turn that $25 into $500. Really cool for especially for small unit bettors, and tons of free squares. Any MMA event they have, or the Super Bowl, or any type of a big game, or when a sport comes back, they drop free squares almost weekly. For plus EV plays, I'm going to give them a 9 out of 10 because I still think that there's a lot of value to be played there. Previously, it was a 10 out of 10 with a ton of correlation opportunities that we were crushing in Juiced Bets VIP, but there's still a lot of opportunities with esports, with MLB baseball, and obviously NFL coming up as well. There's going to be a lot of bets on PrizePicks. Now for limits, this is kind of where they stall out. I'm going to give them a 5 out of 10 because typically you can get a good amount of money down and actually make some money before they limit you, but it kind of depends on the sport that you're betting on. With correlation edges, they do typically tend to limit pretty quickly. With esports or other niche sports, they limit relatively quickly, but you can still definitely get a good amount of profit, like between, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 of profit before they end up limiting you. Once they limit you, you're able to bet $25 a day. So it's not awful, but it's still not great. That's why I'm going to give them a 5 out of 10. So final score for PrizePicks, 30.5 out of 40 or 7.6 out of 10. Before we get into the next DFS app, please drop a like on this video and subscribe because it really helps this channel grow. Number 2 is Underdog. They're right behind PrizePicks. I'd say these are the 2 best in the game right now. For their sign-up bonus, this is a 10 out of 10. You get a 50% deposit match up to $1,000. So you can deposit $2,000 on Underdog and get $1,000 in bonus funds. That's a pretty crazy bonus, and especially for somebody who might have a bit larger of a bankroll, this is a really good way to make money. I mean, $1,000 that you can bet with, that's pretty incredible. And guess what? That rollover is nothing crazy either. It's like a 1-time or 2-time rollover. So super easy to bet through that and be able to actually withdraw the money as well. For promos, I give them a 6 out of 10 because when you first sign up and you're first betting, they offer you a ton. You get profit boosts, discounts, all that kind of stuff. But then once you get limited, all of that gets removed. So no more promos when you're limited. Whereas with PrizePicks, you were still getting promos even though you're limited. Underdog completely removes them. For plus EV plays, it's kind of difficult on Underdog because they bump very quickly. So I'll give them a 6 out of 10 because there still is value playing model or projection-based plays. Now, what I would recommend doing is checking out the LCS Larry esports model. This is what I've been using to get a ton of esports volume in, and you can still do this on limited accounts on Underdog as well. But when you're betting on Underdog, you can utilize the mispriced esports lines that they have to this model, and this is a great way to get profitable bets in on Underdog. But like I said, the market-based plus EV, main market stuff, it's kind of difficult to actually get those in. For limits, it's kind of similar to prize picks, so we're actually going to give them an 8 out of 10 here because they do limit you relatively quickly if you're clearly a sharp, profitable bettor. But once you're limited, you can still get $75 down per day, which is pretty respectable compared to a lot of those other sportsbooks out there that completely kill you with their limits. So, final score for Underdog, 30 out of 40 or a 7.5 out of 10, so just behind Prize Picks. So number 3 here is actually DraftKings Pick 6. This is a new product that DraftKings has put out, their first entry into the DFS pick'em industry with their Pick 6 product, and it's really a great place to throw some bets down. For the sign-up bonus, I give them a 7.5 out of 10. It's the exact same as Prize Picks. Bet $5, get a $50 free bet, so pretty good for small unit bettors, but nothing you're going to get rich off of. For promos, I give them a 6 out of 10. It's pretty solid. They do some discounted lines and also profit boosts, so you get a good amount, usually 1 or 2 per day. For plus EV plays, I'll give them a 6.5 out of 10. There is a little bit of correlation that you can find. We post some of that in the Juice Bets VIP Discord server, and you can also find some plus EV opportunities to models. Like I mentioned, the esports model, and then also Better Odds MLB model is quite good on Pick 6 as well. For limits, they get a 9 out of 10 because to my knowledge, you can't really be limited, similar like on Prize Picks and Underdog, on Pick 6. Now, they do have a maximum entry amount in specific lobbies. So if you're trying to put a lot of money on esports or a lot of money on MLB, you get limited to $250 per day, which isn't terrible, obviously, but there is that limit there. So it's not a 10 out of 10. I give them a 9 out of 10. Final score for Pick 6, pretty good, 29 out of 40, which is a 7.2 out of 10. Before we get to the next app, keep in mind that we have sign-up links for all of these books coming up and the previous books in the description down below. Now, this is a great way to start building your bankroll, especially if you've never been on these apps before. You can really start to grow that bankroll with these sign-up bonuses. I mean, they're literally giving you free money in a lot of these cases. I'll also hook you up with free access to my VIP Discord if you do end up using one of those links or codes down below. Simply take a screenshot once you deposited and send me that all over Twitter or Discord or wherever you can get in contact with me, and we can hook you up. We post plays for all of these books every single day in the VIP Discord. At number 4 in our ranking system, we have Sleeper. Now, they are the king of promos, but that's kind of about it. So they're high on this list because they rank well there, but I wouldn't say they're the 4th best betting app. Still worth having for sure because of the promos, but let's get into it. Their bonus gets a 7 out of 10, 100% deposit match up to $100, so it's very solid there. Promos, like I said, 10 out of 10 here. Tons of daily promos. Every single day you get multiple boosts or discounts or whatever you want to call it. Very good book to at least get a little bit of money down every single day. Plus EV plays, this is where they falter, a 2 out of 10. You can really only bet using a model like our esports model or the Better Odds MLB model, but at the end of the day, it's still kind of difficult to get these bets into. And for limits, they get a 9 out of 10. I've never really heard of anybody being limited on Sleeper. They do juice their lines pretty hard, so it's tough to really even get that much money down and make that much money on Sleeper. But still, it's definitely worth having this app in your arsenal. Final score is a 28 out of 40, which is a 7 out of 10. Number 5 is Owner's Box, a new DFS app that's actually based in Canada, very similar to Underdog, but they have some cool new twists. For bonuses, they get 8 out of 10 because you get a 100% deposit match up to $100. Plus, they have a 3% cashback feature. So you actually earn cashback when you're betting on Owner's Box, which is a really cool thing that you can do. And then you use those tickets that you earn to enter lineups and then be able to actually withdraw that cash. So it's definitely a great program that they have going on with their bonuses. Promos is a 5.5 out of 10. It typically picks up during the kind of the prime time, like NFL NFL, NHL, NBA time. But, you know, it's nothing crazy, but you still do get some promos. So a 5.5 out of 10, I think, is pretty fair. For plus EV plays, I'll give them a 6 out of 10. It depends on the time of year. With NBA, injury news is really, really good to play on Owner's Box if you're quick and you can get those bets in. But other than that, right now during the summer or even later in the year, model plays are going to be really good there, specifically for MLB and NFL. For limits, I'll give them a 6 out of 10 because they do limit you very hard if you hit them hard enough. I made over $5,000 in about a month betting on Owner's Box, and I got limited to just $50 or $25 a day. You can place 5 slips each day. So really not that much, but still not too bad. Final score for Owner's Box, 25.5 out of 40, which is a 6.3 out of 10. Number 6 is Better. This is Jake Paul's betting app, and it's pretty solid across the board, but it doesn't really excel at one thing. It's just pretty good at everything. For bonus, I'll give them a 7 out of 10 here. You deposit $77, you get $77 in bonuses, but this does change often, so make sure you check when you're actually looking to sign up using the link down below for what actual bonus you're going to be getting. For promos, 6 out of 10, it's kind of hit or miss. Some months you barely get any, some months you get a ton. So it depends on the time of the year that you're betting. I would assume that during, October, November, December, when sports betting is very popular with NFL, NBA, NHL, that's the time where Better will really excel with their promos. For plus EV plays, I'll give them a 6 out of 10 because it's nothing crazy. You can get decent correlation plays depending on the sport and depending on the edge there. But other than that, it's really model plays that I would recommend playing on Better. And for limits, I'm going to give them a 6 out of 10 because I'm not really sure exactly what the limits are. I've heard some people being limited on Better. I've heard of some people not being limited at all, and they've been making a good amount of money. So it seems like it's relatively hit or miss. So I think a 6 out of 10 is fair. And I also don't have Better. It's not available in Canada, so I can't really tell you from personal experience. Final score for Better, 25 out of 40, which is a 6.25 out of 10. At number 7 is probably the most undervalued DFS app in this ranking because they are terrible at one thing, and that's Dabble. Now, Dabble is really, really good for some stuff, but their scoring brings them down a lot in this ranking, and I'll show you exactly why in a sec. For bonus, a 6 out of 10, it's nothing crazy. You basically get $25 when you sign up, so it's a little amount, but nothing that crazy. Promos, this is where they totally shit the bed. 0 out of 10, they never have promos. So this totally tanks their score and why they're at number 7 out of 10, but let's look at the next category. Plus EV plays, I'm giving them a 10 out of 10. You can find plus EV betting opportunities to the market here. You can get model bets in, and they do still have some correlation edges. So I'm giving them a 10 out of 10. They really excel here and make up for the lack of promos. For limits, I'll give them a 7 out of 10. It's nothing super aggressive or that quick. They do end up limiting you if you make a ton of money, if you're utilizing a specific edge that they find out, but 7 out of 10, not too bad. So Dabble gets a 23 out of 40, which is a 5.8 out of 10, but I would honestly put them closer to the top, like number 4-ish, if the promos were better. And obviously, promos aren't everything, so take that with a grain of salt. Take this ranking with a grain of salt. If you don't have Dabble, I highly recommend you sign up because you can still get a lot of volume. We're posting a ton of bets on Dabble every single day in our VIP Discord. Number 8 is EPICK, which is a new, unique app because it is peer-to-peer. You're not betting against a sportsbook, you're betting against other people. We have a full breakdown of how EPICK exactly works on this YouTube channel, so definitely check that out if you are interested. For bonuses, it's a 3 out of 10. Nothing crazy at all. You have to deposit up to $1,000 and you get $50 as a 5% match. So if your bankroll's high, it's not that bad, but if your bankroll's low, it's pretty much non-existent. Promos, they get 0 because it is a P2P app, right? So you can't really play discounts or boosts when you're playing against other people. Plus EV plays, now this is where they excel. They get a 10 out of 10 because EPICK never changes their line. So let's say you have somebody at 24.5 and the other best player on the team gets announced out with an injury. Well, now that player's points will bump up to 27.5 across all these other sports books, but on Epic, they keep it at 24.5. So you now have a massive plus EV play that hopefully people you're playing against also don't see that and don't take that play too. Limits, they also get a 10 out of 10. No limits whatsoever on Epic. Again, it's a peer-to-peer betting app, so there's no limits. They don't care. They take a small percent cut on all the commission, all the money that's coming through. So they don't care if you're winning, you're just beating other people on the platform. Final score is a 23 out of 40 or a 5.8 out of 10. That's the same as Dabble, but I would still rank Dabble higher. I mean, I would actually rank Dabble, like I said, even higher on this list. But yeah, 23 out of 40. At number 9, we're going with Boom Fantasy here. There's really nothing crazy about Boom. Let me get into it. So for bonus, I'll give them like a 8 out of 10 because you get a $100 risk-free entry. So you can just bet $100, and if you lose it, nothing happens. So it's pretty cool for your first bet on Boom. Promos, 4 out of 10. They do a couple, but really not a ton. Plus EV plays very similar to Sleeper. They juice their lines way too hard. They're way too quick with changing stuff. So it's really just, you can't really get that much plus EV opportunities. Besides, sometimes you can find correlation edges, but they'll typically patch those edges relatively quickly. So a 2 out of 10 here. For limits, a 5 out of 10. There's just really not a lot of reason to be playing on Boom right now. I mean, they limit you quickly if you're taking advantage of good opportunities. There's barely any opportunities as is. I just really wouldn't do much here. Final score, 19 out of 40. That's like a 4.8 out of 10. And dead last is Parlay Play. It sucks because Parlay Play used to be so good, but unfortunately they've changed a lot of things now and they are dead last. The bonus is actually okay, 7 out of 10, 100% deposit match up to $100 in bonus funds. So I would say relatively industry standard, good 7 out of 10 there. Promos, 2 out of 10. They hardly ever run these anymore. And even when they do, $10 max and the promos really aren't even that good. Plus EV plays very similar to Sleeper and a few of these other apps. They juice their lines way too hard, so you can't find plus EV plays to market anymore. And lastly, limits. I give them a 6 out of 10. They don't limit that hard, but they do eventually, especially if you find a big edge and you hit them hard, they'll definitely limit you to basically nothing. So for dead last, Parlay Play final score, 18 out of 40. That's good for a 4.6 out of 10. Not very good. So, Prize Picks and Underdog are still the gold standard, but if you're looking to expand and to take advantage of more betting opportunities, which I highly, highly recommend, that's how I built my bankroll when I first started out here. I've made $40,000, $30,000 the last couple years. And so if you want to expand into new books, Pick 6, Dabble, Owner's Box, all very good options. Better, I would say, as well. Those ones, I'll link them down below, so make sure that you do sign up using those links, and then in turn, you can get access to our VIP Discord where we actually post the profitable bets. I mean, you need to be betting profitably if you actually want to make money, obviously, so that's where we'll be posting them. And yeah, take advantage of that free access when you can. Let me know down below if you agree with these rankings. If you disagree, let me know your favorite Pick'em DFS app. I mean, these rankings, I think, are relatively straightforward and accurate, but like I mentioned, there are a few books that are a bit lower or a bit higher than they should be just because off of the ranking scale that we have, but I do think that it is relatively accurate, and anything above like number 7 and above, I think is worth betting and getting that book, especially if their promos are very good. Anything below, probably not, unless you just want to take advantage of that bonus, get a couple $100 and move on. Definitely subscribe for more plus EV betting tips, tricks, all that kind of stuff. That's what we do here at Juice Bets, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.